What's up, everyone? It's Coach B back again. Thank you for those of you who have been tuning in and listening to the tips and tools and resources that I'm sharing with people who are either in a sales position, in a sales leadership position, or maybe considering getting into sales. This is for you. Please share the things that I'm sharing with you. This is extremely valuable information that I could charge thousands of dollars for, but I'm giving it away to you for free because I want to offer sales as a potential career path for anyone who's looking to build a career for themselves. A young person, you're in your 20s, 30s, not really sure about what direction you want to go in. Sales is a great way to go. Sales is probably, arguably, and I would say is the oldest profession in the world. Now, some people might say prostitution is, but if you think about prostitution, what is it? It's sales. It's exchanging value, someone giving you something in exchange for something else. So sales has been around for thousands of years. Trade and sales exchange have been around for thousands of years. It's a really neat art as well as science. And there's a lot of science. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today in this segment. Some of the data that's been accumulated around sales and how it can help you to move sales and opportunities forward. So again, thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about something that really is going to support and help your success no matter what kind of a sales role you're in, whether you're in an account management role, whether you're in an outbound account executive role, an inbound account executive role, even maybe a customer success role. It doesn't matter where you are in the organization of revenue. What I'm going to talk about today can support you in whatever you do. So I'm going to give you a couple of tactics and tools that you can use and think about and how you can be most effective in doing that. So today's topic is activities. You think about the word activity. I'm going to talk about a couple of different things and areas that I coach people around when it comes to activity. So there's a saying in the sales realm, and this may apply to some other realms as well, that activity breeds activity. And when I think about that, it can apply pretty much anywhere in life. If you think about pursuing a relationship, if you're a young man and you're trying to pursue a young lady, the activities that you actually generate are going to produce a certain kind of result or outcome. Or vice versa, girls can pursue guys too. So if you're a female and you're pursuing a guy that you think is, credible and interesting and good looking and maybe a good mate for you, and you might want to pursue them, I have no problem with women pursuing guys, as long as you're not my daughter. Just kidding. But there's totally nothing wrong with that. But activity breeds activity. So when you're doing activities, you are moving energy. It's something in motion. It's action. Activity comes from the word action, which comes from the word act. You go down to the etymology of that word act. It's something that's moving, something that's shifting. You're always moving something around. And as energy gets moved, new energy gets created. Something brand new gets put into space of something that was there before. So in sales, it's no different. When you're actually in action, when you're doing things, and if you work with me before as a coach, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm big on being in action. Any major coach out there who talks about performance will tell you that nothing will happen unless you take an action. If you're building a business out there and you're afraid to take an action, not worrying about whether you're going to fail or not, trust me, you're going to fail. You will fall. Any person that's ever started a business typically starts about 3 to 5 businesses before they find success. So you will fail, but you cannot be afraid to take an action. So when it comes to sales, we're talking about activities. There's certain activities that you have to do in order to generate that new energy, that new opportunity that's going to turn into a new sale for you, a one. We call it a closed one in the sales world. So how do you generate that? There's certain activities that you need to do. If you're a sales rep, you need to be generating pipeline. And what do I mean when I say pipeline? What I mean is that you need to generate a backlog of opportunities. You may have a quota that you're responsible for, but you want to have 3 to 4 times what that quota is in your pipe. So if you say that my quota is $100,000 for the quarter, then you need to have $300,000 to $400,000 of potential revenue that can come in that you could close to ensure that when the end of the quarter comes, you actually have that 100,000, because not all 300,000 to 400,000 is going to close, not in that quarter. You might have some things that may close the following quarter or maybe the following year, but you want to make sure that you have plenty there in the pipeline so that you can at least meet the quota that you're responsible for that quarter. So how do you create pipeline? How do you make sure that you have that revenue in the backlog for you so that you can actually meet your quota? It happens with activity. Now, what are some of the activities that I'm talking about? I mean, outreach. Maybe it's using your LinkedIn Navigator tool and reaching out to decision makers or people that you see as points of contact in certain organizations. What I'm talking about is prospecting. So it may be telephone calls. You have phone numbers, and you have so many tools and so many resources, so much technology at our fingertips today, far different than when I was in sales when I first started that can give you this information that you need to reach out to people who are decision makers within these organizations. So it may be telephone calls. It could be email, having an email system that can help you. And you have artificial intelligence and other, again, tools and resources that can help you do this and help you automate a lot of this stuff. Maybe it's text messaging, which is another very effective way that you can actually generate activity. But all these things make up different types of activities that you can do to generate pipeline. So that's one of the areas that I look at when I'm working with someone is, are you doing the right kinds of activities? Email, phone, following up, just prospecting in general to generate the interest. Now, when a person is doing all the right activities that are expected to generate the kind of results that they want, the next thing I look at is, okay, they're doing the quantity of activities that are needed. Now let's look at the quality. Maybe it's the quality of the activity that they're doing is not really a high enough level that are going to get them the kind of results that they're looking to get. So we look at the emails. What are the emails saying? What are the text messages saying? Do they have very engaging hooks that can capture the person's attention that's going to actually compel them to want to reach back out to them and get more information? If you're calling, are you leaving voicemails? And if you are, what kind of voicemails are you leaving? What are you saying in there that's going to encourage that person or hook that person to calling you back? One of the tactics is you call the first time. They don't answer because they may not recognize the number. Well, you hang the phone up, don't leave a voicemail. You call back a second time and see if they answer. A lot of times you have mobile phone numbers for people. So if you have a mobile phone number, most people won't pick up the phone if they don't recognize your number if you're not in their phone. So you call back again. What happens is naturally people think that if the same number calls them back again, it must be an important call. They're really trying to get me. It may be about my kid. It may be about somebody in my family. Let me pick the phone up. And the second time you call, they'll answer. If they don't answer the second time, still don't leave a voicemail. Call them again another day. Set your another activity out for 2 days later. Call the number again. You can try the same tactic or hopefully you'll get them on the phone. So these are just, again, when you're doing cold calling to people that don't know you, there's a rhythm method that you can deploy, a timing that you want to do. The key is to continue to have activity going. And you want to have a mix of activities. If you have an email for the same person, you can send them an email saying, hey, I just called you yesterday about 3 o'clock. Didn't leave a voicemail, but I'd love to set up some time with you to chat about some of the problems that I know you're facing in your industry and see if I can support you in what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So the quality of the activity is key. Now, I talked earlier about some of the data and some of the history of sales that's provided this data for us over time. So marketing companies actually research all this information. You have these polls that they do, these surveys that they do to find out how many phone calls it takes to get an appointment. How many emails does it take to get someone to agree to go to your website? All this data is out there. And if you are a smart sales leader, then you're using this technology to help your people be most efficient and effective in what they're doing to get results. So let's say, for instance, your goal is to get 10 appointments set for the month. Well, if you're trying to get 10 appointments, you probably need to do 100 phone calls. You probably need to do at least 50, 65, 75 emails. And again, I'm just throwing numbers out there. And maybe text message follow up, you may need to do 75 or 80. So you can look at the numbers and see, okay, what's going to get me one meeting? One meeting might be 10 phone calls, 6 emails, or whatever it might be. So if that number of activities is going to yield me one meeting, how many of those activities do I need to double, triple, quadruple to get me 3, 4, 5 meetings? And you just multiply it and you keep doing it, right? Now, it's not a proven 100% science. However, it's going to be much closer to getting you the kind of results that you want if you follow some of these metrics and things that have been laid out. Again, this is all based in historical data. They know that in order to get someone to buy, you have to touch them so many times. When I was in sales, I was relentless about follow-up because I know when I look at myself as a buyer, I may not buy the first time. Think about email lists that you've joined. You joined it for a reason. And then I know sometimes people get your information. They'll just add you to an email list when you have no interest in what they're selling at all. But if you sign up for an email list, there's a reason that you signed up for it. Now, the first time they email you, you might not buy anything. But data shows that the more they follow up with you, the more they have their product and services in your face and at your attention, there's a very, very high chance that at some point you're going to make a purchase. They know this. I can think about many times where I signed up for someone's mailing list after I made a purchase and I didn't really need anything at the time. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 emails come out 3 months, 4 months down the road. I see something that catches my attention that I've been thinking about. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I'm a buyer again. I've bought 2 products from them now, and I might pick up something else on the shelf on the way out. So this is how marketing works. They get your information. They put you on an email list and they start a drip campaign with you, and they're constantly emailing you, maybe once a month, twice a month, once a week. Some people really overdo it, but the data shows that if they continually do that, there will come a point that you will buy something. And just think if they have an email list of thousands of people. then you have sales are going to be happening in all the incremental areas between that follow-up and drip campaign that they're doing with you. So going back to the activities and having this relentless attitude that I talked about, I mentioned earlier when I was in sales, I wouldn't stop calling and following up with a person until they told me, Brad, stop calling me. I've either bought somewhere else or I'm no longer interested. Are you interested just not now? Is it okay if I call you like maybe 30, 60 days down the road? If they don't say, no, stop calling me, I'm going to put an activity out in the future somewhere to call them again, because I know the data shows that if I continue to follow up, there's going to come a time where they're going to want to get a purchase. And when you have multiple products you can purchase, it may not be the one that you were trying to sell them initially, but eventually it may be something else, a new product that you launch that actually appeals to their desires, and they're going to want to go buy something. So the critical aspect of this is you have to be consistent. You have to have this resilience about yourself. You have to be willing to hear no. Don't take it personally. Don't take it as a no. Just take it as a no for now, and continue to keep them in your pipeline and keep following up with them. So the bottom line is that you being in action on a consistent basis, being persistent, taking no days off from the work that you're doing, you're more likely to have success in sales than anyone else around you. Most people quit. Most people don't follow up with sales. They may follow up 2 or 3 times, but the people that follow up 7, 8, 9 times, those are the ones who win. So be persistent, be consistent, and make sure that you keep your mindset right. Don't take anything personally, and always keep driving forward. And you'll build the kind of pipeline that you need to achieve your quota quarter after quarter after quarter. All right. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you all. Hopefully you found some value in this. Feel free to go to BeLegendary.coach if you want to schedule a coffee chat with me just to introduce yourself and get to know me a little bit. And maybe we can work out some kind of a working relationship. No pressure whatsoever. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.